The most dangerous conversation you'll ever have happens inside your head. What if I told you that the most important conversation you'll ever have is one nobody else will ever hear? It doesn't happen in a meeting. It doesn't happen with your family. It doesn't happen with the people you love. It happens in silence. Every single day, a voice follows you everywhere you go. It wakes up with you. It walks beside you. It speaks before anyone else does. It speaks after everyone has gone home. It is the only voice you never stop listening to. The frightening part isn't that the voice exists. The frightening part is that you've heard it for so long, you stopped asking whether it's telling you the truth. Think about it. If a stranger followed you through life, constantly whispering, "You're not ready. You're too late. You're not good enough. They're better than you. You'll probably fail. Don't embarrass yourself," you would recognize it as manipulation. You would walk away. You would stop listening. But when those same words come from your own mind, they suddenly sound like facts. That's how powerful familiarity is. The voice doesn't become believable because it's honest. It becomes believable because it's familiar. And familiarity has a dangerous way of disguising itself as truth. Some of the strongest walls you'll ever face were never built around you. They were built inside you. One sentence at a time. One doubt at a time. One disappointment at a time. Until eventually, you no longer need someone else to limit you. The voice does it for them. It speaks before you apply, before you ask, before you begin, before you try. It quietly decides who you'll become long before life ever gets the chance to. And here's the tragedy. Most people spend their entire lives arguing with the world while never questioning the one voice they've trusted the most. They question strangers. They question the news. They question other people's opinions. But the voice inside their own head gets a free pass. Not because it has earned their trust, but because it has become part of their identity. That's what makes it dangerous. The voice doesn't introduce itself as fear. It introduces itself as you. It says, "I'm just being realistic. I'm protecting you. I'm keeping you safe. I'm stopping you from getting hurt." And little by little, you mistake protection for imprisonment. Because the voice has learned something. It knows it doesn't have to destroy your dreams. It only has to delay them. One more day, one more excuse, one more reason to wait. Because dreams rarely die from one devastating moment. They disappear through quiet agreement. The day you stop arguing with the voice is the day it stops needing to convince you. It has already won. The voice has one goal: to keep you exactly where you are. Not because it hates you, but because it fears change. Your mind would rather live with a familiar pain than face an unfamiliar possibility. That's why the voice celebrates certainty. Even when that certainty is making you miserable, it convinces you that staying where you are is wisdom. That silence is maturity. That hesitation is intelligence. And that overthinking is preparation. It gives fear a different name so you'll never recognize it. The most dangerous lies are never shouted. They're whispered so quietly they sound like your own thoughts. The voice doesn't ask for your whole life. It only asks for today. Don't do it today. Wait until you feel ready. Start next week. When? The timing is better. When? You're more confident. When? You know enough. But confidence was never meant to come first. Action creates confidence. Waiting creates doubt. Every day you choose waiting. The voice grows louder not because it has become stronger, but because you've become more willing to obey it. That's how invisible habits are born. Not through one life-changing decision, but through thousands of quiet agreements. Every time you accept the voice without questioning it, you surrender another piece of your future. Until one day, you can no longer tell whether the life you're living is the one you truly chose, or the one your fear quietly chose for you. And that's where everything begins to change. Not when your circumstances change, but when you ask a question the voice has spent your entire life trying to prevent. What if you're wrong? Not what if I fail? Not what if people judge me? Not what if this doesn't work? But what if the voice I've trusted all these years has been wrong about me? That single question threatens everything the voice has built. Because the moment you stop automatically believing it, its certainty begins to disappear. You start noticing that it predicts failure without knowing the future. It speaks with confidence about things it cannot possibly know. It tells you what people will think before they've spoken. It tells you who you can never become before you've even taken the first step. It presents opinions as facts and repetition as proof. After hearing the same story for years, you stopped realizing it was only a story. The voice is not your identity. It is your conditioning. It is every fear repeated often enough to sound like truth. Every doubt accepted without examination. Every limit inherited without ever asking, does this really belong to me? And the moment you begin asking that question, the conversation changes. When the conversation changes, your life begins to change with it. Here's the truth the voice hopes you never discover. You don't have to silence it. You don't have to defeat it. You don't even have to make it disappear. You simply have to stop confusing its words with the truth. The voice will always have something to say. It will always find a reason to hesitate, a reason to doubt, and a reason to wait. That's its nature. But just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it deserves to shape your future. The greatest mistake most people make is believing that every thought they think is a fact. It isn't. A thought is only a possibility, a suggestion, a story your mind is capable of telling. And like every story, it can be questioned. The moment you stop asking, "Why do I think this?" and start asking, "Is it actually true?" the voice begins to lose the authority you've spent years giving it. That's the difference between living on autopilot and living with awareness. Awareness doesn't remove fear. It removes fear's disguise. For the first time, you begin to see the voice for what it has always been, not a judge, not a prophet, and not the author of your future, but a frightened part of your mind trying to protect you from uncertainty. The tragedy is that while it tries to protect you from failure, it also protects you from growth. While it tries to protect you from rejection, it also protects you from connection. While it tries to protect you from disappointment, it also protects you from becoming the person you're capable of being. Every meaningful life is built the same way, not by waiting for the voice to become quiet, but by refusing to let it make your decisions. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is deciding that fear will no longer be the loudest voice in the room. One decision, one conversation, one moment of awareness. That's all it takes to begin changing the direction of a life. Because the most dangerous conversation you'll ever have isn't the one inside your head. It's the one you never question. And perhaps that's the real freedom. Not living without fear, not living without doubt, but finally recognizing that neither of them was ever meant to decide who you become. Your future has never been waiting for a quieter mind. It has been waiting for a stronger decision. The voice may continue to speak tomorrow, and the day after that, but from this moment forward, it no longer has to be the voice you obey. Thank you for listening. Until next time, keep questioning the voice.